Listening, I'm going to be explaining the hinox curse glitch, and this is also going to be my first episode of Breath of the Wild Master Mode Let's Play. So, you know how video games store things in binary.
Take it.
Which is one
It will help guide you after a
1
long
and
summer.
0, meaning, and every time you add an additional number that's not blank, null or 0, it doubles, meaning that one in binary and 1 0 in binary and is more big than 1 in binary. So now that I'm also going to discuss floating point numbers before I get on to the actual glitch.
Hold the Sheikah slate up to the pedestal.
Dog,
Will show
get
you
out of
the
the
way.
way. In order to save memory, a lot of games, a lot of older games, and even modern games use non-precise floating point numbers.
Link,
Dog,
You are the light.
stop.
our light, that must
Which
shine
is-
on Hyrule once again.
So,
Now go.
in order and the amount of storage needed to increase the accuracy by 10%, increasing exponentially. So, wait, I mean linearly. If you were, but of course, on 64-bit games, which is when signed is about 9 quintillion, give or take. That's a lot. And because there's a lot of binary, and because there's a lot of bits going in to store it, you need to go very far in order to receive any kind of jankiness. Let's go to So the game right now has a position variable and both y, x, and z coordinates, which I'm not going to explain. But basically, y is height, x is this way or this way, and z is this way or this way. I just summed up geometry in about 3D geometry in about 3 sentences. Anyway, it compares your position with other objects in order to tell if you should be in a grounded state, a falling state, or a climbing state. It also checks your stamina. So what happened? So visualize a 2D chart in your head, because 3D would be too hard to explain. It would every tile after the middle tile is 0 0, which is the center. Anyway, this there, and then goes to 2, tiles until it reaches 64-bit integer limit, meaning that it's about 64 by 64 tiles across, if I did the math right. And and then for the first couple of slots, there's no
Head for the
noticeable
point marked on the map in your
change.
Sheikah slate.
You need to. Let's go to 2 to the power of 16. Which is about 32,000 units away from 0, 0. Assuming if you're only in one direction. And 60, and on 32-bit games, there would just be a barely noticeable amount of stutter due to the fact that the game is having to work with less precise numbers. On 64-bit games deal with this far better though, and you have to go to this 32-bit and in order for it to go notice any jitter. About 2 billion units away from spawn. On a 64-bit game, there'd be noticeable jitter, but in most games you'd be extremely out of bounds. So out of bounds, in fact, that if the game has an air wall that grows linearly the further you go out of bounds, it would likely push you back in near an instant. And then there's one. So because the game has to work with less precise values, it has to estimate where it actually is, and so it starts like go to 2 to the power of 50 units away from spawn. Airball would make you go. Would probably move across the entire map in less than a single frame. In less than a single 60th of a second if the game was infinite FPS. Also, infinite FPS would make no clip from speed no clip tricks impossible. And also, the game would be at 2 to the power of 50 studs. The game would be on sneeze, and it's very, very, very likely that
You have been asleep for the
that
past
you'd
100 years.
start falling through the ground.
The beast.
If there's any objects with collision at the point. And so simply put it, now they've got coordinate stuff out of the way. Wait, I have one last thing. If anything
You must
exceeds
hurry, Link,
the bit integer limit for the tracker of
before it's
position.
too late.
For example, going above 9 quintillion on 64-bit signed, it would crash due to the fact that the game is trying to handle something larger than what the game can actually handle. And so, now I'm going to be discussing the glitch itself. The hinox glitch makes the game freak out and essentially makes the hinox fling up insanely far out. So far out that it could even despawn. They can even despawn. How you to trigger the glitch is using a metal chest to push a moblin, a hinox or stallnox. Both work. And almost any waterfall should work. And then push it against the waterfall until it turns invisible. Once it does, you can do weird things. So one thing that you can do is, my dog is being in the way, is that it sends the game to a high enough point that it doesn't crash, but it also doesn't work the way it should. For some reason, the furthest out object that is loaded accuracy is transported onto all objects. Well, that's what I think is happening. Instead of it how it should be, being relative, and it should be relative to how far the object away is from 0, 0. And essentially, the game keeps trying to check your position, rotation, and a ton of other things. And because it has low accuracy numbers, it keeps jumping to random numbers. No, I don't think I will. And now for the detailed explanation on why. And now for a funny thing. The game essentially will essentially essentially guess so much and be so far off that it'll start to be noticeably wrong. And at some point, you literally break Link's back. And now onto the strange shield thing, where you can break Link's back by ragdolling out of the shield. Essentially, the game was supposed to make Link go into ragdoll mode, keep being in ragdoll mode until death or there's enough or friction slows it down enough until something slows it down enough for Link to get up. it should then use Link's position and rotation to orient Link so that it's while standing straight up, like what Link is doing right in this cutscene. When the game uses something that's very far away as a reference point for all objects, it is not accurate enough for it to align the back properly. And you could even So anyway, the game fails to orient it correctly with the severity depending on how far away the thing that's being used as a reference point for the game is away from it, from what should be used as a reference point. Maybe I'm gonna be literally everyone in Breath of the Wild when they don't have an enemy, when they don't have a weapon. If you don't get it, that's because literally everyone does it. Also, the reason why some animations take it out of it, of the broken back state, is because, well, for some reason it actually orients it somewhat correct enough so that the game actually orients it so that Link's physics, the chiropractor, gets his back fixed. Also, Breath of the Wild, released in 2017. Am I really that old? And now here's a bonus glitch. Sprintless aim. Unlike the hinox glitch, which I can't do, sprint glitching can be done literally at the start of the game. All you need is to have a controller that doesn't eat your inputs when you're trying to do the glitch. And the game. Essentially, as soon as you start the game and get over all of the cutscenes, sprint whistling, for some reason, basically swaps the game in between whistling and sprinting, which allows you to be faster than normal walking, faster than normal walking, about 80% the speed of running, still faster than walking, while still gaining stamina. As you can see, that's proof that I'm actually on master mode. I'm gonna end the recording here. If you watched this, please like to the end, like and subscribe, and first person to comment to comment the 32-bit integer limit signed will get pinned and a shout out. There's a couple of things though. There's a chance that YouTube won't show it because it's stupid or because you have a bad name. Yeah, I decided to make comments strict so that bots ain't. Anyway, I'm done with recording, so see ya.